Russell Crowe just dropped a Hollywood bombshell, and it's blowing up everything we thought we knew about Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's divorce. Insiders say Russell revealed that Nicole warned Keith about an affair long before she walked out. Not rumors. She confronted him, gave him one last chance, and when he didn't change, she ended it. Russell wasn't some random source. He's been close to Nicole for decades. He saw the tension, the distance, the trust falling apart while Keith toured 200 days a year. Now, fans are saying it all makes sense. The lightning-fast divorce, the quiet custody deal, and Keith's silence ever since. Picture this. Russell Crowe, the Hollywood heavyweight with zero filter, suddenly drops a bomb about Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's divorce. And it's not what anyone expected. The man who's been friends with both sides just hinted that Nicole didn't walk out of nowhere. She warned Keith first. Yeah, imagine that. A breakup years in the making. And Russell might have just confirmed it. The timelines, the tension, the silence, it all starts to make sense. This isn't your typical clean Hollywood split. This is heartbreak, pride, and maybe a secret that's been buried for years. And if what Russell said is true, it flips the entire story upside down. So, grab your popcorn, hit subscribe, and stay tuned, because this truth bomb from Russell Crowe might just rewrite Nicole and Keith's love story forever. For months, the headlines painted a calm, almost graceful picture. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, Hollywood's golden couple, are simply drifting apart after 19 years. No cheating, no scandal, just two busy stars growing in different directions. Keith was the doting husband, the man forever on tour, pouring his soul into the music, smiling through the heartbreak. Nicole was the elegant, career-driven actress, stepping into new projects, new roles, and a new chapter of life. To the public, it looked clean, mature, even inspiring. Proof that not every breakup had to be messy. But here's the thing. Insiders say that version couldn't be further from the truth. Behind the scenes, it wasn't two people drifting apart. It was two people slowly breaking down. The distance wasn't just physical. It was emotional. Every tour meant more nights alone. Every premiere meant another rumor. And somewhere between the spotlight and the silence, love turned into tension. That's when the whispers started. Quiet, careful, and close to home. People who knew them said the spark was fading long before anyone noticed. And now all eyes are on Russell Crowe, the man who's been there since day one. Russell isn't just another Hollywood buddy. He's the mutual friend who saw it all, from the early red carpets to the nights when things stopped feeling right. The kind of friend who knows when the smiles aren't real anymore. And if what he's been hinting lately is true, then the story we've been told, the polished, media-friendly version, is just the surface. Because behind that amicable split might be a trail of ignored warnings, emotional distance, and one final decision that changed everything. And Russell, well, he may have just let the truth slip. Russell Crowe isn't just a casual observer in this story. He's been part of Nicole and Keith's world for decades. Think about it. The same tight-knit acting circle, a web of friendships stretching back to their early careers, red carpets, premieres, and countless private dinners. Crowe has shared stages, screens, and parties with both of them, giving him a front-row seat to a love story most of us only saw through headlines and Instagram posts. Rumor has it he was even at the 2005 GDLA Gala, the night Nicole and Keith first met, the moment that quietly changed everything. From that very first spark, Crowe allegedly watched it all unfold. The excitement of the early romance, the whirlwind of success, the joy of building a family, and the laughter-filled moments that looked perfect to the outside world. But he also witnessed the cracks forming, the subtle signs of strain that tabloids never reported, the distance growing during long tours, the tension behind closed doors, the private arguments no one else saw. He saw the first spark, he saw the good years, and he saw the cracks forming, insiders say, painting a picture of a friendship and love story that had layers most of us couldn't imagine. That's why when Russell speaks, people listen. He's not guessing. He's not repeating rumors. He's someone who's been there, who's seen the highs and the lows firsthand. And now, As whispers surface about what he might have revealed, it's impossible to ignore the weight of his perspective. Because Crowe's insight doesn't just fill in the blanks. It gives us a rare behind-the-scenes glimpse into a Hollywood love story that the world thought it knew, but may have only ever seen the surface of. Every laugh, every milestone, every tension-filled glance that he witnessed adds context. And if he's speaking now, it could change how we see Nicole and Keith's entire relationship. It's a story of friendship, love, and heartbreak. And Russell Crowe has been there through it all, watching, remembering, and maybe finally telling what really happened. Here's the alleged bombshell. Russell Crowe supposedly told close friends that Nicole didn't just quietly walk away from Keith Urban. According to insiders, she warned him first. And this wasn't some casual chat over coffee. She confronted him about behavior that crossed serious lines. Some say it was an actual affair. Others say it was emotional cheating on tour, secrecy, or closeness with someone else that broke trust. The key part is that when Nicole warned Keith, she wasn't bluffing. She meant it. That warning, if true, was a turning point. The moment the marriage couldn't recover, it changed everything we thought we knew about their split. Suddenly, the calm, amicable story turns into one of tension, unheeded signals, and a difficult decision finally made. This is why Russell's perspective matters. He didn't hear it secondhand. He was there, saw the warning, and knew the weight behind it. In Hollywood, there's an unspoken rule, the code of celebrity silence. You never share friends' private business, no matter the scandal. So, if Russell Crowe actually spoke up about Nicole and Keith, it's huge. People aren't used to seeing someone break that code, especially someone with his clout. There are a couple of theories for why he might have done it. One, to protect Nicole's reputation, because the media often painted Keith as the sympathetic party while keeping Nicole's side quiet. Two, to expose hypocrisy, to show that Keith's polished, devoted husband image didn't always match reality behind closed doors. Either way, insiders say Russell may have broken his silence to balance the scales, to set the record straight, and to give fans a glimpse of the truth Hollywood rarely lets out. And that's why this revelation hits so hard. It's coming from someone who's been there, seen it all, and doesn't usually speak unless it matters. Here's where the timeline gets shocking. On June 26, 2025, Nicole and Keith were still posting sweet anniversary tributes. Happy anniversary, baby. All smiles and love. But just 5 weeks later, everything changed. Keith signs custody papers giving Nicole primary custody. 306 days for her, just 59 for him. Pause and think about that. What could happen in 5 weeks to destroy a 19-year marriage? According to Russell's alleged revelation, that's exactly when Nicole delivered her warning. Something serious was discovered. Something that made her see the marriage couldn't survive. And the speed of it is stunning. No slow separation, no public reconciliation attempts, no drawn-out drama, just done. From love notes to finalized custody in just over a month. It's a timeline that doesn't add up unless something major shifted behind closed doors. Keith Urban's life on the road is intense. He tours around 200 days a year, which is more than half the calendar gone in a blur of concerts, flights, and hotel rooms. That kind of schedule creates its own pressure cooker. Isolation from family, constant temptation, and endless stress. Add in his past struggles with rehab and addiction, and you've got someone more vulnerable to impulse and secrecy than most. That's where Russell Crowe's perspective matters. As an entertainer who's lived in the spotlight himself, he understands the unique pressures of fame and touring. According to insiders close to Russell, he noticed warning signs early. Keith became emotionally distant, secretive, and defensive whenever Nicole asked about life on the road. Small cracks, perhaps invisible to outsiders, but glaring to someone who's paying attention. Those close moments, those unspoken tensions may have quietly built over years, creating a distance Nicole couldn't bridge. And if Rhett Russell's statement is true, they shed light on why the warning and the eventual split happened when they did, revealing a side of Keith and Nicole's marriage the public never saw. Insiders say the signs were there. If you knew where to look. Keith reportedly became overprotective with his phone, defensive over even simple questions, and emotionally detached at home. But in public, he was overly romantic. giving the world perfect love moments. Psychologists call this public overcompensation. The louder the love declarations, the deeper the underlying guilt or distance. Remember that emotional AFI tribute where Keith praised Nicole for saving him? Some say it was the perfect time to distract from the growing private disconnect. Russell Crowe, who's usually bound by Hollywood's unspoken rules of silence, allegedly chose to speak up for Nicole. Insiders suggest he saw her private struggle, the emotional toll hidden behind public smiles, and decided the truth deserved to be told. Quote, Nicole didn't just quit. People close to Russell say, she endured. She warned, and she finally walked away with dignity. If true, that reframes everything we thought we knew about. Suddenly, Nicole isn't just the quiet, graceful spouse moving on. She's the betrayed partner who tried to save her marriage until it became impossible. And Keith, he's cast as the one whose actions destroyed the trust and intimacy in the relationship. Russell's alleged comments don't just spill gossip, they offer context, showing a marriage unraveling behind closed doors in ways the public never saw. Add to that the rapid pace of events, from warning to custody decisions in mere weeks, and the emotional weight becomes clear. This wasn't a slow fade or amicable drift apart. It was a turning point ignored, a relationship pushed to the edge, and a decisive exit by a woman who had tolerated enough. Russell's perspective, if true, gives fans a rare glimpse behind the carefully curated Hollywood image, revealing heartbreak, betrayal, and the difficult choices that shaped one of Hollywood's most admired couples. By speaking out, he allegedly shifts the narrative entirely. Nicole becomes the courageous, wronged spouse, and Keith becomes the one responsible for the collapse of the relationship. It's a dramatic, devastating, and human story, one that Russell may have finally felt needed to be told. Here's the bigger picture. If Russell Crowe's alleged revelation is true, it completely flips everything we thought we knew about Nicole and Keith's split. That seemingly clean divorce, the lightning-fast timeline, the quiet custody settlement, all of it starts to hint at a deeper, more complicated story playing out behind the scenes. The public saw calm, grace, and a mature split. But insiders say there were warnings, emotional distance, and private confrontations that no headline ever captured. Still, it's critical to remember none of this is confirmed. This narrative is built from leaks, speculation, and whispered accounts from people close to the situation. So, we have to take it with a grain of salt. But even as a rumor, it's fascinating. Whether Russell actually said it or not, the fact that so many believe it shows just how fragile Hollywood fairy tales really are. Perfect marriages, golden couples, red carpet smiles. They can crumble in ways fans never imagine. And it leaves us asking the big questions. Did Russell really expose Keith's affair or inappropriate behavior? Or is this just another Hollywood story that got twisted in the rumor mill? Either way, it challenges the way we think about celebrity relationships and the narratives we're fed. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because if even a part of this is true, it might completely rewrite one of Hollywood's most shocking love stories. And the truth behind those miles may be far more complicated than we ever imagined.